guys, welcome to our channel and welcome to our second edition of the vlog. And today we decided to take a trip to Niagara Falls for the weekend.
Yeah, the restrictions were lifted, museums are open, restaurants are open at a limited capacity, so we decided to take advantage of that and get out there. And we chose Niagara Falls because it's just gorgeous. It's one of the wonders of the world, and it has so many other interesting facts going on around it that we would like to share with you. One of the facts that I just recently found out yesterday is that Nikola Tesla has actually a lot to do with Niagara Falls. So we're going to share this and a few other things, so stay tuned.
Yeah, that's right. And if you stay long enough till the end of the video, we'll share some interesting places to see during your trip to Niagara Falls. Let's get started!
So you might have heard about Niagara Falls a lot. It's one of the wonders of the world, and it's also considered to be one of the largest waterfalls out there. In fact, it's the second largest in the world after the Victoria Falls in Africa. So what does the largest waterfall actually mean? It's not that it's the tallest in the world. In fact, its height is only somewhere between 51 and 57 meters. What makes it the largest is the volume of water that goes through it every second and the width of the waterfall. The volume of water that falls down the waterfall is over 2 million liters per second. Just for comparison, it will take an average family of 4 about 7.5 years to use up all the water that has fallen here in just 1 second.
Niagara Falls is located right at the border between Canada and the United States. Right here we're standing in the province of Ontario, and over there, across the river, we have the New York State. Have you heard about the Statue of Liberty in New York City? Well, it was built in 1886, and before it was built, actually Niagara Falls was the symbol of America and the New World.
Alright, so up next, we will talk about 6 things we didn't know about until we came to Niagara Falls. We're gonna start with the fact number 1, and it's gonna be an easy one. Niagara Falls is actually made out of 3 separate waterfalls spread across a sector of Niagara River. It's split into Canadian Falls and American Falls, based on which country they belong to. The Horseshoe Falls, also known as Canadian Falls, are the most picturesque and the most impressive ones, and that's what you typically see on postcards, documentaries, and anywhere that depicts this wonder of the world. The American Falls and the Bridal Veil Falls are a little bit smaller. The Bridal Veil Falls got its name due to the resemblance to, well, bridal veils. It's right next to the American Falls and is separated by a small piece of land, interestingly called Luna Island. Overall, the waterfalls are massive. The flow is so fast that the highest ever speeds recorded can reach 110 kilometers per hour.
So you might be wondering, where does the water come from? One of the things that amazed me about Niagara Falls and the river is the emerald green color of the water. The water comes from the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes are the world's largest freshwater system, and it accounts for about 18% of the world's fresh water supply. Most of that supply flows over Niagara Falls every day. Today, less than 1% of the water of the Great Lakes is renewable. This means that just 1% of the water can be restored thanks to water cycle, things like precipitation and groundwater. Niagara Falls was formed from the same glacial melt activity that formed the Great Lakes at the end of the Ice Age, which was about 12,000 years ago. And in the grand scheme of things, and among all the other peer waterfalls and geological wonders, 12,000 years is practically like being a baby. The rest of the 99% is the legacy of Ice Age. Most of it was melted from the glaciers thousands of years ago. This is why the color of the Niagara River is emerald green. It comes from dissolved minerals, salts, and very finely ground rock picked up primarily from the limestone.
Next, you might be wondering, is it even humanly possible to jump down the falls and survive? Well, numerous people attempted to become famous for challenging the waterfall, and many died. But the very first person who managed to go down the waterfalls and survive was a school teacher, Annie Taylor, in 1901. I'm trying to imagine her thinking process. How can I become rich and famous? Let me jump off a 50-meter waterfall. Great idea. Anyways, Miss Taylor was a 63-year-old school teacher. Seeking fame and fortune, Annie took a barrel, loaded herself into it, put a cat beside her inside, and descended over the falls and survived. I hope the cat survived too. This woman received a nickname Queen of the Mist. We're sharing this information with you for entertainment purposes only. Please don't ever attempt anything like that yourself. Since then, that event of Annie Taylor, numerous people tried to repeat her achievement, and very few managed to survive. In fact, just within the last 15 years, there were people who attempted to challenge the falls on jet ski or kayaks, but all succumbed to the sheer power of the falls. And even if they did succeed and survive, they would have had to pay a fine of $10,000 because making an attempt to go down the falls is illegal.
Do the falls freeze over the winter? You've probably seen majestic pictures of the falls in winter, where it's all covered in ice and snow, like the wall from Game of Thrones. Well, it doesn't actually fully freeze. Let's dive into what happens there. So the tremendous volume of water that goes over the ridge never stops flowing, so it's really hard for it to freeze in place. The falling water and the mist create ice formations along the banks of the falls and the river. If the winter is cold enough for long enough, the ice will completely stretch across the river and form what's known as the ice bridge. Visitors were actually allowed to walk on the ice bridge all the way up until 1912, and they were able to view the falls from below. On February 4th, 1912, the ice bridge broke and 3 tourists died. Stepping on the ice bridge was banned ever since. However, there was this one single point in time in 1848 when the water in the Niagara Falls completely stopped over the both falls. It's happened because Lake Erie froze and created an ice dam that prevented water from reaching the falls. The water stopped flowing for several hours before it resumed.
Fact number 5 will be about the future of the falls. How does global warming affect it? What shall we expect? Niagara Falls is actually moving because the water flowing through the Niagara River is so strong, heavy, and fast that it's slowly eroding away the rocks. About 12,000 years ago, Niagara Falls was near Lewiston, New York, and Queenston, Ontario. Over all these years, it has migrated about 11 kilometers from its original location. The waterfall's current rate of natural erosion is estimated at 1 meter per year. Good news is that given the flow control of the hydro plants, erosion can possibly be reduced by tenfold. Climate change is also an influencing factor of the future of the Niagara River. Prediction models indicate a drying up of the Great Lakes Basin. Scientists also speculate that perhaps 2,000 years from now the American Falls could dry up. In another scenario, the falls could also be replaced by a series of rapids. Overall, with the current rate of erosion, scientists estimate the world's second largest waterfall will disappear into Lake Erie in 23,000 years from now. Alright, last but not least, what does Nikola Tesla actually have to do with Niagara Falls? Well, Niagara Falls is the place for one of the most impactful inventions of Nikola Tesla. If you ever visit Niagara Falls, pay attention at the statue across the road that goes along the walkway to the falls. You will notice a statue of Nikola Tesla. In the mid-1890s, Nikola Tesla developed a system of alternating current which enabled power from Niagara Falls to be transmitted on great distances. The system was implemented on November 15, 1896, and allowed Niagara Falls to power Buffalo with electric power that was transmitted from Niagara Falls all the way to the city. Prior to Tesla's invention, electricity was only transmitted by direct current, which could not reach further than 100 yards and could only power a tiny light bulb. This invention changed the way electricity was used throughout the world, and it all started here at Niagara Falls.
Now we would like to share a couple of great places to visit in Niagara Falls. For most people, the city is associated with gambling, bars, and entertainment. But partially due to lockdown and partially because we love peace and quiet, we decided to spend this weekend enjoying nature. Take a short trip to Niagara Nature Park. We started at the Whirpool beach and took a trail along the river flow to Niagara Glen Nature Center. It's such a beautiful place and it's so peaceful. The hike is fairly easy but can be a bit challenging with rocky parts. Whirpool Trail is usually closed in spring due to high water level, but we were lucky. We were not in a hurry, so it took us about 2 hours to finish this hike, while enjoying every beautiful spot along the way. For those who's willing to dedicate more time to this, there is an option to continue your hike and go further until you reach Niagara Falls power generating plant. By the way, if you're into rock climbing, there are some interesting spots to practice too. You can find them on the part of the trail close to Glen Nature Center. Please make sure to visit Bird Kingdom. It's the world's largest free-flying indoor aviary. You'll see hundreds of tropical birds as you explore the pathways throughout the multi-level rainforest. You can meet friendly parrots and communicate with them. There is also a section dedicated to exotic animals. Another section represents the ruins of the night jungle, that is home to curious owls, bats, and fascinating creatures. Bird Kingdom is located just 5-minute walk away from the falls, and it's open all year. We'll leave the link to the website below if you want to know more details. It's a wonderful place for people of all ages. It's an amazing experience to be able to encounter exotic birds and animals up close in their natural habitats.
And that's it, guys. Once again, thank you for watching. And if you liked this video, please hit that thumbs up button below and subscribe to our channel. And also, we would love to hear some of the feedback from you guys. Do you like this vlog format? Do you love hearing what we're talking about? What would you like to hear more of? So leave a comment below and we will make some changes accordingly.
Yeah? Take care!